Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
It's good. Try Before We Die. Season 4. This is our second episode. We'll see if it gets released in that order. But, Mal, it's good to have you back at the bar.
Yeah, you look like you came right off the set of Red Green.
You can't be handsome.
No, I'm not answering that question.
Be handy. You didn't know the answer.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so you can't say things if you can't follow through.
Exactly.
Yep. You're like a lackey. The whiskey review show where we don't know what we're drinking, but we'll tell you what we're thinking. Why don't you find out what we're drinking tonight?
Are you sure you want me to do this?
400 bottles of whiskey in this bar. And
Ooh.
Tonight it's bottle 208. That's bringing us over to the Smart Gun, for sure. Did you guys plot something against me here? We're into potentially rare, expensive territory, but maybe cheap and available. We'll see everybody over at the Smart Gun, bottle 208.
Try before we die with a bearded man and a British guy.
Hey everybody, we're back here at the Smart Gun. One day we'll show it to you. Think aliens. 208, 200, 204, 206, would have been nice, 207, 208. We're pulling out this Glen Grant, this Speyside Single Malt Whisky. This is first edition, batch strength, 15-year-old. I can't see it. Something tells me this could be a 50% ABV. Now, I make things up a lot. Ask all my friends, because they're not really my friends, but I make it up too that they're my friends. I love the Glen Grants. Super stable, lots of oaky flavors. They can last 50, 60 years without falling off, to use a wine term. Really nice whiskeys. I think it's John Grant, I think I have it, or James, one of the Grants, the Major's Reserve. This goes back a long way, great distillery. We'll see everybody back at the bar to have this 15-year-old batch strength first edition Glen Grant. I feel like I say it a lot now, but did you hear?
Yes, I did.
What'd I say?
15-year-old, 50%.
Well, I guessed. Couldn't see.
All right.
What's the whiskey?
Glen Grant.
Glen Grant. So what we have here, everybody, is a 15-year-old batch strength Glen Grant, first edition, coming in at 50% ABV. This is super exciting, right?
Yes.
Yes. I love the bottle. Here it is. Glen Grant is the testament of Major James Grant's ingenious mind. He created tall, slender stills and unique purifiers to capture only the finest vapors from the raw elements of the heartland.
And isn't the Major Reserve one of our favorites?
Especially for a no-age statement. Let's get it open. I think this is a relatively new purchase in the bar, and by new, that usually means within a year or two. Here we go. Trying to avoid what?
Cork failure.
Yes, sir. A little deep,
It was a little bit deep.
but still.
Lively. And actually, technically, it was lively. I mean, you had some freaking life to that one.
Let's see if we can get a gurgle out of this unique bottle shape. I love that.
I think people would like to see us drink this stuff. It really does have a...
It's always that first pour that...
But that one lingered.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to give you just a little bit more.
That one lingered, though.
It held the gurgle for a while. All right, this 15-year-old Glen Grant, batch strength, 50% ABV, first edition.
I like the chiseled.
Oh, yeah, right. I don't want to say etching, but sort of the mold the glass was formed in, the bottle was formed in. It is a nice bottle. All right. So, while this expands and breathes and is trapped in the glass, I thought today maybe I'd take a look at the book.
All right.
The Glen Grant. Oh, it's right here. The 15-year-old. Bourbon fans will find a lot to like here.
Ooh, okay.
This one's only available in the U.S. market. Barrel-driven notes, peppery cinnamon, planed oak, sticky caramel syrup. This is all the nose. Dark toasted almonds, caramelized citrus, orange marmalade. Your pronunciation. Poached pear. On the palate, sweet and spicy, takes a page out of the bourbon playbook. Oak, tons of caramel, creamy milk chocolate, and dried concentrated fruitiness reminiscent of dried cherries or candied citrus peel. They're talking about the extra 7% ABV above Glen Grant's often 43%. Exaggerates the mouthfeel and really extends the finish. Warmth and, your favorite word, lively oak.
All right. And I'll be honest with you.
And I talked to, sorry
Yeah,
to
go
cut you off, talked a little bit about Glen Grant and their relationship with the wood. And they brought up oak both on the nose, planed oak, and in the palate, lively oak.
And I'll be honest with you, to get this. I'm never a huge fan when I hear spicy.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of it. I always seems to turn me around spicy. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out because the Major's Reserve is a great drink. Mm-hmm. And obviously this is going to have some kick to it.
So spicy is this funny word, right? Because you think of spicy, you can think of Mexican food, you can think of salsa, you can think of Tabasco, right?
Yeah.
Right? But that doesn't translate to the world of single malt
Correct.
Scotch whiskey. Spicy is more about some of that that lasts all through
Yep.
here, that sort of heats up your mouth, right? But not with that Tabasco,
Hot.
right? Though they talk a little bit of white pepper. Spicy for me tends to mean that, and I don't want to say burn because people can think of it the wrong way, but that it's got this lingering, lasting
warmth.
experience, this warmth, right?
And like I said, I
Yeah.
always get a little bit worried when I hear that
Yep.
being thrown out.
Yep.
Because you think about spicy food.
Yep. All right. Well, let's take a look at some color. I'm gonna go with a light gold.
Yeah, no, I am going to disagree with you.
What do you got?
I'm going to go medium. It's more. It's got more to it.
I think it's got some thickness to it. So I'm trying not to confuse maybe some
And maybe
oil with color.
Maybe it's your light, but I'd say definitely it's not super light. I would never say this is super light.
Yeah. I never know what's around me. I just was gonna say if there's some mini flashlight here, I would shine a light into it. But I don't have. What's this? Oh, I do have something.
There you go. Okay, so all right. Okay, with that on it, it looks a lot lighter.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Okay. All right. I don't know where this came from. You never know what you're gonna find in a bar, everybody.
Now, what I will
Somebody
say,
might say, or who you're gonna find in a bar.
what I will say, it's not as well. That's not true, but it's not really as leggy as I thought it was going to be with the amount of 50%. The first sheet just goes straight down, but I've got like a couple one that just like to freaking hang out.
Give it a tempest.
Give it a tempest.
Yeah. No, it's not leggy.
No.
All right. All right. So we're with a light gold, not leggy, very sheeting, high ABV. Let's see what we have on the nose. Oof, punchy.
Not initially.
Initially.
No. I
He's wrong.
completely disagree.
He thinks I'm wrong.
But when you start to get in there,
Calms down.
no. See, and that's odd. No, I think then it starts.
Tweedledee.
Now I start to get some of that, and obviously now it's started to dilute and freaking disperse and freaking. But initially, no, it wasn't until I really drew in and they got
Really?
to the back, and then all of a sudden it exploded. And I had that that spiciness.
There is no right and wrong. It's the way everybody experiences their drink, and so this is a great. We're in opposition to each other, but we're not. We're friends, right? But we're experiencing things in reverse order.
But as a bourbon drinker,
I pick up.
That's there.
You can totally pick up on that sweetness of a bourbon.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons I don't care for bourbon, is I find it to be too syrupily sweet.
Okay.
Right?
I'll give you that.
Not my thing. Right? But obviously drink lots of ex-bourbon cask whiskey.
Especially when you talk about your what you could pick off the shelf. Your normal Jack. Your normal Jim Beam.
Jim Beam, right?
Not
Jack Daniels,
maybe the
right.
higher class ones.
Right.
Not a little bit more sophistication, but definitely I give you that. But you can definitely pick up that.
Yeah. That's really, really sweet, but not in a sickening way. It's right here. The book just gave it back to me. The barrel-driven notes, right? And I am picking up that wood. The sticky caramel syrup, and I think that's the sweetness I'm grabbing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And you go to pick up the oak.
Yep.
You got that oak in there.
Well, let's see what it tastes like. These are nice pours. Wait till you see the bill.
Yeah, okay. I'm a little bit nervous.
The oil, the mouthfeel, before I even took it back, it just filled the front of my mouth. This was not a thin whiskey. I've had a thicker, but this is not a thin whiskey.
What's that sweet at the very end of this?
All right, hold on. I was so caught up in the mouthfeel and the oil. So the spiciness is there.
Yeah.
It's not overpowering,
No.
right? For me, it comes down to about the breastplate.
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah. What's that sweet? Is it the caramel? Is it a very light toffee? Is it a not a chocolate but some sort of a dark candy?
It's almost like blackcurrant.
Black currant. I was going to see what the book said to pay attention to, but I remembered. It asked us to think about cherries.
Could be a black cherry.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, it asked us to think about that. So with
That's
that
what
in
it could
mind,
be. That's what it could be. A cherry. And it's right at the back as you start to purse and
you ever have one of those chocolate covered liquid cherries?
yes.
I loved those as a kid, right? There's something about that. What I really like about this, everybody, is it's this high ABV, but it's not medicinal,
No.
right?
No.
It's got a nice mouthfeel. It's got some good sweetness. I like this idea of a slightly candied, slightly chocolatey cherry.
And you know when you chew like not a horse, but like another type of cough. You know when you have the
Ludens.
you have the outside, it's crunchy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And as soon as you crack it, you have this liquid that comes
That little
out.
soft center.
That's what this ending's like.
Okay. All right, let's reflect back because I just happened to find the notes so easily. Reminiscent of dried cherries or candied citrus peel. Cinnamon, nutmeg, lively oak.
Okay, so cinnamon.
Right.
There's another one in there.
I felt like maybe more nutmeg than cinnamon.
No, I'm
Again.
going to go with that cinnamon.
In opposition to each other, having a fairly decent experience with this pour, though.
Yes.
This is a more complicated whiskey than some that we've had.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I will say that at 50%, I'm not feeling that 50%. I'm sure a little bit later I'm going to feel
You'll
it.
feel it, but it's not,
Yeah, it's not like it's taking a few punches at me.
because that's what proof?
50. Oh, 80? All right.
See what I'm working with?
Excellent.
That's 100 proof.
That's not 100 proof. All right.
It is.
Yes,
It is.
You're right.
50,
My bad.
50, 100.
50,
Right.
100.
It's 100 proof,
Definitely.
right? And so if you were to say to somebody, hey, we're going to do
It's
some
easy.
shots of 100 proof whiskey, right? That would be like, oh, 100 proof. Here we go. But here we are drinking straight. We're sipping. We're finding all these flavors. We're finding oil, complexity, some dark sweetness, right? Some oaky, right? And still at 100 proof.
And I want to touch on it. I don't find it as oily as I would expect.
You
it
didn't
to
find
be.
that initial
No.
mouthfeel like
Not as oily as I thought it was.
like it expanded slowly, like an oil just sort of
Nope.
coats.
Nope. I don't find it as oily as I think I should be finding it.
Gosh.
And maybe it's because that's just the sheer fact that I want to get to the back of it.
It would who would be Siskel? Who would be Ebert?
I would be even.
I would be Siskel. There it is, right? There it is, everybody. So the Glen. So we don't do this too often. The high ABV. I'm gonna give it a little water if I can get the pipette to work. Oh, I did it.
Where's my,
Oh, you got my
you
fingers
did.
today, huh?
No, you
All right.
didn't have the right
Let's
side.
see if this opens up anything. Really subdues the nose.
Oh yeah.
Wow, calms it down. You got an interesting look of displeasure.
Because it really does takes the legs the right way.
Well, hold on. So what I want you to do is I want you to dig in and look for some flavor expansion.
Okay.
All right. So do it again, not with more water, but with what you got in your glass, and see what you can expand into. I've got a bigger range, right? The highs are gone, and the sides have expanded.
We're like on two different planets at this
And
moment.
now I'm not at the breastplate. I'm ending here, at the top of the chest. What do you got?
2 words: more medicinal.
More medicinal.
Like now, I feel like and not in a bad way,
Yep.
but my mouth is numb.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like where my tongue meets the back of my palate,
Yep.
it is numb.
Okay.
But in a good way.
You heard it here again. We don't have to agree to agree. This isn't a terrible whiskey.
It's got a lot going for it.
It really does have a lot going for it. I like the high ABV. I think I'm going to agree with you on this, though. I prefer it without the water.
Yes.
All right. We found our commonality. All right,
Okay.
the Glen Grant.
boy.
50% ABV, 15-year-old, only available in the States, bourbon cask finish.
100% proof.
100 proof,
100%.
50% ABV.
100.
We'll get him there, everybody. We'll get him there. Let's see what the crew has in store for us.
Is there like a pack?
So this could say something interesting if we change they. If I read this and they becomes I and we becomes you. All right. But
Go.
rejoice and be of good cheer, for they are out there and we are in here. Without the water. Absolutely. And I'll agree with you. I think those highs mattered in some of those
Yes.
nice flavors. The highs became subdued, the sides expanded, which was nice, but I missed the high notes of these like really intense flavors.
But what's interesting is the fact that water sort of just flips this drink around.
Yep.
For me, it went from something that I had some highs and we had some this and the candy and the breaking and the liquid to something that was truly my mouth is numb.
Yep, because of the water.
Because of the water.
Yep. All day without the water, not medicinal, nice peaks, nice valleys,
Good drink.
good drink.